Hello, world, how are you? We have some Q&A to do. I hope you're doing fine, 'cause it's Q&A time again. I know that was like the worst singing ever. I'm sorry. It is what I do on a Friday Night Live Q&A, where we talk about keeping freshwater aquarium fish, shrimp, and plants. And yeah, if I don't know what's going on with your questions, we've got some amazing people in the chat that can help you out as well. But as for me today, I am absolutely exhausted. It's been a long day, a lot of stuff going on. I don't know if you guys notice anything different, but I've been busy around here. Been real busy around here. And then I still got to take this down because that's got to go to Oddball Aquatics here tomorrow. And yeah, it's going to be a long night. But hello, everybody, all you awesome people in the chat. Oh, live chat, thank you so much, Candy. I don't know what I would do without you. The world's most amazing mod. Thank you so much for reminding me. But hello. So if you got them questions for your aquarium, fish, shrimp, or plants, where you've been keeping them for a long time, short time, you know, we all got questions. I still get questions about keeping fish and stuff. Just because there's so many types, so many ways to do it. It's great. But I am going to have a seat. Just figured I'd give you guys a gander. I am digging, though, I got to share this with you. I am digging the new view from the desk there. I was going to make a video for all that, but I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. Got to have the lawnmower in the fish room, too. That's essential. For getting that carpeting, grass, that's how you do it. You just shove that in the tank and bam. You're done real quick. All right, we got to get those barbs in there for sure. Got to angle this, too. I got to get used to this. I have these little pedestals. This is what I'm putting you guys up. I'm going to put you guys up on a pedestal here, so you guys can feel fancy. It makes for a good desk, though. Makes for a good desk for sure. All right, scrolling for them questions. Let's see, don't forget to hit that like button. Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm loving all the space for sure. Speed reading for you guys. Lots of orders, ask Mickey M. Yes, so tons of orders. I gotta thank you all. That's what I meant to do from the bat, but I'm glad that I got more of you in here. But I want to thank you all for the support. Awesome support, so awesome. Beating records this week again, 94 orders, which was absolutely amazing. Like, you guys have been crazy with buying stuff for aquariums. I'm doing my best to keep up with y'all, but it ain't easy. And I'm not complaining, though. But Father Fish, my goodness, my brother, thank you. Thank you so much for the huge super chat. Throwing down $20. Father Fish, thank you, brother. And I can't wait to come visit you. Hopefully you get done with all this hoopla and I can come down there and check out your place. You can show me your whole sump systems and your store. I can't wait. In Venice. Seems like a really nice place. I've been watching their weather too. They have a nice climate. Jessica Spade says, how do you acclimate your shrimp? I have an order on the way from you now. So I personally actually just plop and drop my shrimp. They're pretty hardy. But a lot of people do recommend slow acclimation. I think a problem with like slow acclimation is sometimes them being in that small container, just slowly acclimating to the water. It being such a small water volume, it can have an effect on them. So if you do want to do those overtime or long acclimations where it's like a drip acclimation, make sure you use like a 5-gallon bucket or something decently sized that they do have a big enough water volume to sustain their seclusion in that tiny little space, because you're going to have a lot more fluctuations with those smaller volumes, which that's what causes more problems and issues. And then I always recommend, one of the biggest things too a lot of people have issues with is they'll sometimes get fish or something. Like my water you don't have to worry about, but if you go to like a fish store, LFS, they've got like pretty much whatever the wholesalers got in their water column. And you're not going to want to put that water in your aquarium. I always bathe my fish. What I'll do is I'll take the new fish or new shrimp or even new plant and get another container, put them in it with either aquarium water or dechlorinated water, and then rinse them out, like give them a bath, kind of like run the water through them. And then I'll add them to a quarantine tank. You'll get rid of so many pathogens that way. Ever since I started doing that with all my fish, my success rate is just absolutely phenomenal with keeping them alive. And that's the best advice I could give to you with getting new fish, shrimp, or plants. And I've got really hard water that I keep them in. It's around 330 TDS. They've been in softer water too. Any rainbow fish for sale other than praycocks? Not at the moment. I've got some that I'm hoarding, but not quite ready there. I know a lot of people are waiting on them. A lot of people. Diane Connors, so glad to hear your Japanese blue endlers are exploding in the tank. And yes, they are cool, I agree. Are you bringing some tiger endlers to the fish list soon? Love those fish. So, not at the moment. They started reverting back to their wild genetics, which is kind of weird. Started throwing these off ones that have like this orange strain that goes across them. Now it's not like real prevalent, but it still is coming out of the line for some reason after all these years. And until I get that fixed, I don't know. I did have somebody offer me a bunch of them, and maybe we can make a deal on them, and I'll get some back for you guys, but not at the moment. No. I'm trying to do my best not to miss your guys' questions here. It's hard to do without going cross-eyed, trying to look at the camera too. I look like I'm just staring off in space like, woo, stars. Brent Jordan says, LRB, do you think a GH of 9 and KH of 5 is good for Neos? And is 20 ppm nitrates too high for shrimp? I keep a pointed tank. My first add nitrates, I believe. So I would probably quit using those first, because then you've obviously got an imbalance and too much saturation of nitrates, so there's no real point in you dosing any sort of fert with nitrates, and probably could pose issues. I'm not sure. I don't really test my nitrates that much. I've got planar aquariums, let Mother Nature do it, so I don't have to worry about it so much. As far as the GH, KH, it seems all right. It'll do pretty good for them. You got a little bit of both and more of the GH. I mean, could be a little higher, preferably for breeding, but they'll still live and breed slowly in those conditions. Tom Patterson, red spot algae on substrate, coarse sand. Can I just add more substrate? Yeah, just put some right on top of it, or you could just stir it up, and or you could get some Cory cats, they'll sift it around for you. But yeah, you could just add substrate right on top of it. A lot of people ask that question too and wonder if you can just add substrate into your aquarium, say like this Eco Complete. You want to add sand, you're tired of the black substrate, you want more of the white, then you just dump it right on top. I would probably do a water change after I dump it too. And make sure that you drop the water level a little bit too. So if you've got a full tank of water and you go to add in a bunch of sand, you got to compensate for that mass being into that tank. If not, you're going to flow it over. Learn the hard way. Say Kong says, LRB, have you kept super Dumbo dragon guppies? Do they breed true? No, they don't breed true. I think I may have at some point. Most of those super Dumbo, like dragons, Santa Clauses, all those don't breed true. They're so hard. Actually, a big reason why they're named that is because they're just culls out of the Dumbo red and blue platinums. And then they'll just make different names for them. Gregor Aller says the fire reds came in today just fine, colored up within a few hours. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I mean, when I send them out, they look brilliant. Same with the blue dreams. Some people sometimes, like, they'll get them stressed out, and it does take them a moment to clear up. And black substrate always helps with the fire reds, and the lighter sand substrate works best for the blue dreams. DMC Production says best Friday night every Friday night right here with Lucas and occasional Wesley sighting. How's that tank, boy? Yeah, we got to get to his tank here soon. I still haven't pulled out that turquoise rainbow mop. Like, I've been so crazy trying to get stuff done around here. I got the pond liners ordered. I actually got those into the van today because I got to put them in storage because I'm not going to get to actual lining them up until like a week or a few weeks from now. But I'm excited. Next week, next week, hopefully, I'll get started on that pond back there with the excavator. That's goals. That's what we're working for right now. And yeah, it's been a while since we had a Wesley sighting. Telepathic T says, getting back into the hobby after a few years taking a break. What's everyone using to treat ick these days? I ordered fish online. They must have gotten stressed in shipping. They arrived sick. So yeah, a lot of reasons why, like, your fish do get stressed, and that is usually the main cause of fish getting sick, and that's even in your aquariums, whether it be community aquariums or whatever. And I like to use Ruby Reef Kick Ick. I think it works great, always has. It's been safe for everything, even shrimp. I know a lot of people use Ick X, I think. I've never been a fan of that myself. But Ruby Reef Kick Ick is what I like to use. And that's another good reason why you want to not use that water that you get your fish from. And make sure you bathe them from that type of water. Because of ick and stuff like that can travel. Josh Santos says, no filter on that barb tank. Looks like a lot of fish in there. How often you water change on that? So there is a power head. So technically there is biological filtration on this one. In a sense, there is a power head right here, which has sponges on it. Actually, let me just flip you guys around. But it has sponges on it, so it does move the water through some biological filtration within those sponges. But really, I don't know. I do water changes whenever I can. I still got fish tanks in the main fish room that haven't been changed since November. But they're all doing pretty good. You ought to see my crystal red tank that hasn't been changed since November. It's being taken over by blackworms. It's become like a blackworm breeding ground. It's been amazing. But I mean, I would like to do more water changes for this, but I don't know. I try to do weekly, bi-weekly. Usually happens like monthly. And these guys have been eating so much guppy grass. So if you guys ever see guppy grass go out of stock, it's these guys' fault. Because I'm trying to keep them from eating my mole mani crypt there in the middle. When are we going to get an updated tour of the entire fish house? Actually, I need to do that soon. I don't even remember when the last one has been done. I've been going through this organization phase, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do it real quick before I do all that. Because, I mean, I'm getting ready to tear this thing down tonight. There's going to be something new going there, which I'm excited for. I got a really good idea for up here, what I want to do, which I'm excited for. And then I still got all this room here, which I'm excited for. Whoa, hope you guys don't get dizzy from all that, but. What substrate are your blackworms thriving in? So it's eco-complete. And that's right, I've got crystal red caridinias sitting on eco-complete, thriving with some blackworms. It's very weird. SC Aquatics sent a super chat. I did not see that. Super chat. I thought I may have seen one earlier here, but it's got me all over the place. There it is. SC Aquatics throwing down a $2 super chat. Says, howdy. See you tomorrow. Yes, sir. You sure will. I'll be down there, or up there, I should say. Can't wait to go. It's been a while. I know Wesley will be excited for it too. Mr. X 2010 says, hey Lucas, speaking of father fish, he talks about deep gravel sand substrates. Are you schooled in the substrate subject? What do you think of deep substrates? I mean, I think that's great. I mean, it's just like adding more nature. You've got more root media for your plants to really get a hold of into your tank, and more mass and area for nice beneficial bacteria and mold, Mother Nature's backbone to success in aquariums. This dirty substrate is what's actually really good for your aquarium. You clean this up too much, then it causes more stress on your fish because their water volume's not going to be properly cycled when you do your water changes. Because you got to think, you remove 50% or so of their water, all that new water still has to cycle itself unless you cycle ahead of time. And then having all this beneficial bacteria into the substrate just helps with that. So deeper the sand, deeper the bed, yeah, I mean, probably is better. SC Aquatics throwing down the $5 super chat says, Sarah said Bacardi and mini excavators make for fun yard projects. Okay, maybe she didn't say that, but still. I can imagine you were thinking that, SC. But thank you for the super chat, Steven. And yeah, that does sound like fun. Any insights on platies? Platies are great. They're pretty easy to keep as long as you get them from a good source. And they're healthy and don't have to be dewormed and all that stuff. But I absolutely love platies, especially for planted tanks, because they are great for keeping like your leaves clean. So say you have cory cats in there with them or something, and they always kick up mold and then it gets stuck on the leaves. Those platies will go around and they'll just graze and bit at everything. So it'll just knock down that mold, which if that mold were to stay there, it would just create a bunch of algae for you. So they help prevent that. And on top of that, they will eat some algae as well. And they're really good for getting the biofilm off of your top of your water. Same with mollies too and swordtails. And sorry if I'm missing any of your guys' questions. I'm seeing a bunch of them in here now. How deep the substrate for a planted tank? So, I mean, this is probably like, I don't know, 4 inches, if that. So, I mean, you could go deeper. But then again, you've got to weigh your option here. Do you want more rooted plant base, or do you want more water volume for your fish? You add too deep, then you're taking away from your fish. So, there is a balance to that. I would definitely not recommend anything under 3 inches. Anything under that, you're not gonna get a lot of space for the roots to grab onto. Caleb Jennings, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, at what size age can you tell a DNR are male or female? Well, definitely a juvenile, but it could be a variable amount of time on when they hit that age. It could be up to 6 months or less to almost 8 months or more to like a year. But the easiest way to tell the difference, let's see, I've got some in here, is the males will have the red and wider body, and then the females will be more skinnier, and they'll have more of the yellow and golden kind of fins. So there's a male and there's a female. Here's another female. She's longer. The females will be longer. Actually, that might be a Aruba Vitata. That is a Aruba Vitata right there. So this tank's kind of mixed. That one's a dwarf neon. Hey, Killifish. But that's the trick to figuring out that. Let's see, do you for sure need mops to spawn rainbows? So, technically no. A lot of times I'll get like a tank like this, or even a bare tank or something like this, and they'll just throw eggs everywhere, whether it be up in the plants or something, or you can move them out of the tank, and then you'll get a bunch of babies that way. I get like clouds of babies from doing what I call musical tank. So it'd be like, get a group of rainbows, you got them in here, you wait like 3-4 weeks, move them over to here, then you're gonna get a bunch of babies in here, and then you can scoop those up after about another 3-4 weeks that they've been in here and put them elsewhere, and then you move these back, that group of rainbows, into there, and then you can just keep repeating it, and you just keep getting clouds of rainbow fish. That's how I like to do it. But if you want to target rainbow fish breeding more, then I would use a spawning mop. It does have its benefit because you can just grab them out of the tank and add them to wherever you want to put them. Lucas, do you have any red laser wapongas you would sell? I do got a tank full here I need to probably share soon. I need to do something with that tank. My parvas are starting to lose their room. It just sucks throwing away that algae. I want to throw it in like a bucket or something because I know there's eggs in there. And let's see here. It says I missed Joel G's super chat. Counter has frozen up. Oh, it's catching up. It's catching up. It's catching up. There we go. Jeez, what did you guys do? Break the internet? I think we just broke the internet. And holy moly, $10 super chat. Thank you, Fishy Mailman. I appreciate you so much. Again, says, I'm not around much anymore, but my shrimp and fish are doing great from my recent orders. Keep being awesome, brother. As always, stay away from the Cat West. And that's funny. Good old Clarksville. But thank you so much, Fishy Mailman. I appreciate you, and glad to hear all your stuff's doing great. I love it when people give my stuff new homes to swim in. And thank you. Appreciate the support. LRB, same method for Goldie-eyed Akai. Yeah, that goes with every rainbow fish. So breeding any rainbow fish is like breeding every rainbow fish. They're all the same. Besides the Pseudomugil cyanidorialis, that needs some brackish water. That's like the only difference. And then like the Radius ornatus, but most people aren't even going to be messing with those. But besides that, all the rest of them are pretty much the same. And let me see if I can find that super chat from Joel G. Super scrolling here. Sorry, man. I really hate to miss super chats because I know people work hard for the money. I know I do. I'm not seeing it. And I know Candy Overhauls just said something about it. Joel, my bro. And Joel's been watching forever. There it is. Joel G. Thank you so much for $1.50 super chat with the black cat. I appreciate you, brother. Glad to see you in here. Hope all's well in New Zealand. Crikey. Now I gotta get back to where I am. When are we going to get an update? Oh, I already read that. Wow, I had to scroll a long way for that one. You guys are so patient with me. I guess that kind of goes with the territory of keeping fish. It is kind of a patience hobby. Michael Allen says, I asked in a video before and I didn't get a reply. I noticed you put sand under your Eco-Complete. Is that so you get a deep bed? No, really it was just for messing around and just testing stuff. But it can add to a deep bed, and it certainly does not hurt. Especially sand. I've found sand has been one of my favorite medias and substrates to grow out for plants. I get the best root growth from them. The only problem is the black sand that I get from Carib Sea. For some reason, it always does like crap for me. I don't know what's up with it, but I always get like hella algae growth and just like no love from the tank and plant growth. But for some reason, the white Caribbean Sea works amazing. So, saying that, if I can get away using the white Caribbean Sea, I use it. But the only problem with that is a lot of fish try to camouflage to it. So if you try to put rainbow fish in with that white Caribbean sand, and what I'm talking about when I say that kind of sand is this stuff that's in like my Shelly tank. They will camouflage towards it, rainbow fish especially. There's some in there, but it's kind of hard to keep clean with the Cory cats. Cory cats will constantly sift the mulm up, so if you're going no filter, that can be an issue with keeping that off. But to me, this looks like Mother Nature. You know, you go out into a creek, you go out into the woods or the stream and ponds and the lakes and all that, they're gonna have a lot more of this in that stream, pond, or whatever than is in my tank, because this is the good stuff. This is like all of what has been broken down. And when your fish poop and when you feed too much food, this is what helps eat it. Is all the microorganisms that live within that. I have noticed if I take too much out of there, my waste from my fish does not break down as fast. But if I got this in here, that waste breaks down super quick, because of the beneficial bacteria in there just takes care of business. Know what I'm saying? Kaylor's Aquatics, thank you so much for a $10 super chat. Glad to see you in here, buddy. Thank you. And Ricard Omen, thank you so much for the 50 crones, I believe, Swedish crones. Greetings from Sweden. I have planaria in my 75-gallon shrimp tank. Not a huge amount, but anyway, what would you recommend to do about it, Ricard? So would not be a proper Friday Night Live Q&A without that question. So when it comes to planaria and worm-like creatures, you can use Pancure C dog dewormer, and you use 0.1 grams per 10 gallons. Then you wait 72 hours, do a 25% water change, and repeat it. Usually takes 2 or 4 times of repeating to get rid of it all. You can use it for Hydra as well. And be careful for mystery snails and other type of snails like that, because it can affect them. Anything that has like a worm type body. But thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. And Lars K, thank you so much for the support. Again, brother, glad to see you in here. Thank you, Lars. Oh, man, I got to get these Shelleys going. So these Shelleys actually been kind of crazy. last time I was in here cleaning, this is kind of something I've observed that nobody's really talked about, is over time they have clogged up all these shells. I don't know if in the wild they just have shells on top of shells, not so much sand where they could clog it up. I don't know if they're doing that over like duels between just other pairs or whatnot and keeping them from breeding, but they've gone and like clogged up all these shells. So I'm gonna have to go through here to get these guys breeding again and clean out all these shells. If not, they're just gonna sit here and get old. And I can see that being something easily overlooked when you are trying to breed shellies and like they've been breeding for a long time and then all of a sudden they'll stop. That's probably the problem. So I could either clean them or just dump more shells in there. But look how dark they are. They are happy. Good color. But man, I am digging this new view from the desk. This is what I get to sit. It's kind of like sat perfect. I still got to build a backsplash here, but I'm happy. It's little things in life, you know? Michael Allen, thank you so much for the support. $5 super chat says, thanks, and if you ever get clown killies, I'll buy them. Interesting. Well, you are welcome, and I wish I had some clown killies. Those are nice fish, really cool. Community fish. I do need to work on getting more killies though, especially with all this stuff going on. I know there's probably some guys trying to get rid of their killies, but no events that they can go to get rid of their killies. Streetwise, and I know a lot of you guys have been wanting them too. Streetwise, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Says, thanks for encouraging patience. It's the name of the game sometimes. You know, my son is who taught me patience more than anything. A kid will definitely teach you some patience. And then I would say aquariums. What is a golden wonder killifish full grown size? Some breed out to like only like 4 inches or so. But I've seen them like, the first pair I got, they were like that big. They were like at around 6 inches or so, which was really crazy. And once again, sorry if I'm missing your questions. Doing my best here. Anybody use AquaClear hang-on backs? You know, back when I used to use filters and stuff, I used to use the Aquarium hang-on the backs. Those were my favorites. But, I don't know, you learn a thing or two and you're just like, I don't need that. Who needs that? Save my money. But they did work good, especially if you, the trick with those hang on the backs is you got to keep up with the carbon to balance out that algae and the ammonia things, those little cartridges you get from them. But I don't know, water changes, that does the filtration. Let your substrate do the filtration. You guys need to get some of these dwarf neons. They're eating me out of house and home here. Lucas, how hard is it to go from a tank with filtration to no filter? It's really not that hard. So when I did do that, I used to just unplug them and that was it. I mean, that was it. These guys are crazy hungry. Look at their bark, 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 bark. Feed me, feed me, feed me. But yeah, I mean, it sounds difficult. It really isn't. It's really not that. You just got to have some faith in the Mother Nature. Now, with bigger fish that poop, depending on your tank size and everything, but like those real big cichlids or like monster fish like that have like real big poops, it can be a little harder to get away with if you don't have that mature beneficial bacteria in there to help eat that waste. The trick is to have that nice moldy dirtiness in there to help eat that waste and ammonia that is coming from that fish. So keep that in mind. That makes a huge, 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 huge difference with keeping a no filter aquarium. So don't over clean a no filter aquarium. You over clean a no filter aquarium, and that becomes problems. So with the no filter, you actually have less maintenance. which is why I do this, because, I mean, this is one room of, I think, like 7 that I've just got full of fish tanks. So I can't, I need as little maintenance as possible. With max power. Like this guy, look at that guy, he's max power. That's an Upper Tor River. All right, Wallace Freshwater Aquatics, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Wallace Freshwater Aquatics. And Mank Fishkeeper, thank you so much for the $5 pound support. Again, glad to see you in here. So I've noticed when I leave algae to flourish in one of my tanks, the water stays crystal clear. So why do so many people not like algae? Well, that's a good question. I think it's just got a bad rap due to, I guess, perfectionism, maybe? I don't know. But algae is Mother Nature's great equalizer. So if you do have imbalances, that's what she's there for. She'll help clear that water and make it cleaner. These guys are really cool, little lamp-eyed killifish. But thank you so much for the super chat, and you're right. Like, one of my best aquariums was this aquarium. It was nothing but algae. If you look at my older videos, which were kind of cringe, well, I mean, they were cringe, but anyways, this was nothing but full algae. If you look up 125 algae LRB tank, I'm sure it'll pop up on the search. And it was nothing but algae, and it was the most spectacular tank when it came to raising anything, breeding anything. And a big way I got away with doing it was just the calcium limestone buildup from my super hard water just kept feeding that algae, and it was absolutely amazing. Then I went softer water and it all kind of died. Thomas Glazer, thank you so much, throwing down a big super chat, throwing down $30, my brother. Thomas, thank you. Thank you. It says, have you ever fed your fish and shrimp tetracolored tropical granules? Thomas, my brother, you know I have. If you guys haven't seen on Instagram and Facebook, which I don't really get on Facebook, but it shoots the post from Instagram to Facebook. I do need to get on there and say hi to some of you guys, because I know some of you guys have been trying to get in contact with me. But yeah, Thomas may have seen that wall of tetracolored tropical granules. And this is another thing too. I don't usually get on any PSAs and soapboxes with what's going on in the world. But I do want you guys to know, if you do plan on ordering from me, or even if you don't, make sure you guys have some food supplies up, because there are some interruptions in food supply chains. You wouldn't usually think they would last more than 3 or 4 months because of seasons and cycles, but at the same time, never hurts to be safe than sorry when it comes to those sorts of situations. Same with your fish. So I did stock up on a bunch of granules for them. But Thomas, thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you, brother. And I know I missed another super chat. Super speed scroll here. Edward Motes, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It says, I received my plants today. Everything looks awesome. Just regretting not getting Achilles you have available. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of my stuff, it can only be limited supply since I don't import anything in. I don't bring anything in from wholesale. Besides those killifish came from a convention, which is like a once a year kind of deal, because they came from other breeders. Now, I do have some of the contacts. I am planning on maybe getting a hold of some, because I have a lot of you guys asking about them. And since I got that big quarantine set up in the utility, I could do more of that kind of situation for you guys. That's about the only fish I would even go through all that work and process for you guys for. Because that's a lot of work to put into all those fish to get them out. Do you raise white clouds at all? Not steadily. Like, I've bred them here and there, but I don't steadily breed them. I've just got too many fish that I really got to focus my attention towards. So many that I got to focus my attention towards, like these guys especially, that I don't even quite get time to do so yet either. So, I mean, my list of like what I can breed and get time for doesn't leave much for like white clouds, tetras, and whatnot. Usually if those breed, those are usually just from like natural breeding, from like silver tips will community breed in here. I've been getting a lot of Cory cats lately. They've just been throwing eggs for some reason. I think it's the cooler water coming through. And besides that, if I'm target breeding, I'm going to try to target breed these barbs or certain rainbow fish. Actually sitting on a lot of these Ameris that I got to get out to you guys. Really cool golden kind of rainbow fish. And I'd like to do some of these rice fish more. And those black neons, I got those to breed. I did the black neons and the rainbow fish together not long ago in this tank. And they both bred together. So these black neons were actually breeding in hard water. And the fry raised up in hard water too, which was really cool. But there's a little bit of everything in here. What is that, a pseudomegal? Oh, what do I got in here? I think those are, is that a luminatus or just two random females? I don't see the male. Hard to tell with those rice fish. Kind of blend in. All right, any more websites going on the website? Not quite yet, not quite yet. Looking for some tips on growing Mario. Save 4 poor little plants, some pure RO water. They do have some tiny roots. Mario. I'm not sure what Mario is. Not sure. Careful with going too soft because you can keep them from having nutrients. But some plants do prefer soft water because the hardness of the water can cause troubles with its photosynthesis and attach itself, especially if it's a slow grower. But quick growing plants, they tend to do well with hard water. Slow growers, not as well. I mean, you can keep them in there, but they don't grow as well. They grow more slow. That guy's so cool. Fighting for this light. Well, it looks good if I keep up with them. Why do you prefer granules over flakes? Are the granules okay for smaller fish too? So yeah, I feed everything, even my fried the granules. What I'll do is I'll crush it up into a powder or customize it with my fingers to the size that they can eat it at. And same thing with my guppy, my fries, my shrimp, everything. The granules, I just think it's more of a hearty meal. It's like if you can eat steak compared to salad all the time, like light, fluffy, flaky salad, to like a hearty, meaty granule. And I mean, they just prefer it, honestly. I really just do what the fish want. Where's the rice fish, the red fish, the ones that look like cherry barbs? The rice fish are these guys with the blue eyes. See how she's carrying her eggs behind her? So what she'll do is she'll scooter onto some algae or moss or some plant and lay her eggs on there. And then there's the male. He's got a little more blue. These are the daisy rice fish. Males are more blue. And then these have more like the red, clear kind of color. Are you going to be selling any longfin danios? Yeah, probably here soon. Right now, like I said, I'm going through a big organization period. And I'm collecting a lot of like the this and that's around the fish room, which there's a lot of. Luckily, I've got this old fry rack right here that is actually gonna go right over here, and it's already like built. I took it out of my guest bedroom and it fits like perfect right there. So once I get that done, get things organized into that, then I should be having more of that kind of stuff available for you guys. But I got so many projects going on right now too, especially with that backyard and everything. Do you have a favorite fish or aquatic creature? Ooh, aquatic creature. That's sea otters, or those otters are always cool, but I don't know. As far as like favorite fish and stuff, I couldn't even give you a type. I could not even give you a favorite type. That's why I have so many fish tanks, is because I've got collectoritis of all these fish. There's like so many cool ones. So many cool fish, naturally. What type of barbs are those? These are Dockensia assimilis mascara barbs. Rare type barb. The only place you can really get them is a wet spot that I've been able to find them. Will you be selling the rice fish or rice fish eggs soon? No, probably not. Thanks, Candy. I'm working hard on that backyard. I can't wait to get that excavator. Hopefully Thursday I'll be able to get that excavator. Then we'll really knock things out. What area in Ohio are you located? I am in Indiana, actually. Is it necessary to have a special substrate and chancing it every few years in a Caradinia tank? Okay, oh, changing it. So the Caradinias, the thing about them is most of them prefer a soft acidic substrate for their molting and for their shells. That's the whole reason why you want that special substrate. That's what makes it special, is that it has that acidity buffering capability. But as long as you got RO water and an inert substrate, you can still get the same effect. Especially if you add like any kind of like sphagnum moss, peat moss, leaves, all kinds of those other things that can soften up water, which aren't entirely necessary either. I mean, I've kept and bred crystal reds on Eco Complete, but that's not always idea. Most people do use and change, especially the major breeders, to use the special acidic substrate and change it out. And once again, I'm sorry if I missed your question. Nathan Hudo says one of my antler females has sunken belly, so I put her in a quarantine tank. Some general cure, how long should it be until I can put her back in the main tank? I would say until she looks like she's healed up. Sunken belly is usually from an internal parasite. So as long as she's eating, she seems fine. Don't rush it, for sure. I usually give all my fish a month after any sickness into quarantine. Like, they have to quarantine for a month. No ifs, ands, or buts in my protocol. I have lots of seed shrimp. Would adding some pipefish to eat them and control them sound like a good idea? I want an oddball fish to eat them. Well, Death of Legacy, those pipefish are awesome, and they would absolutely love some seed shrimp. Now, saying this, if you get some pipefish, you're going to want to make sure you can maintain that sort of live food for them, whether it be Daphnia or seed shrimp or detritus worms or vinegar eels or whatever. You will need a nice plentiful source for them, because once they clear out all those seed shrimp, which they will do real fast, you'll want to keep them fed because they can be picky eaters. I bet microworms would work really well too, and they're super easy to keep in culture. How long have I been keeping fish? I mean, pretty much since I was a kid in my backyard catching stuff out of the creek. Way for decades. I'm old. Sharon Miller says, how do you get sub-washer tank to attach to something instead of strands floating all over? So, if you want to get it attached to something, you can either like place it right on top of it. That's the lazy way to do it. That way it'll just kind of like grow around it. Or you can tie it on with quilt thread. Some people like to use glue. I don't like to use the glue because often the plant will grow out of whatever you try to glue it to, whether it be driftwood, rock, or whatever. And then you end up messing up your decor piece with that glue glop, and then it doesn't look good after it grows out. And all plants will grow up and out eventually. I mean, that's what they do. That's the nature of their game. Did you even see that Placo there, Mr. Placo? There the funky is. Thanks. Also, can you have different species of Achilles in the same tank? I mean, you can get away with this. This is, I think, oh, I knew what this was. Fasciatus? I don't remember what that one is. But there's a golden wonder killifish. There's a blue galarus in here. You can if done right. It's kind of tricky. If they don't have a whole lot of space, then it can be tricky. But they got plenty of space and other tank mates. Oh, that glare is terrible. He's awesome though. Oh, come on. Won't focus. Oh, these red ones, these are cherry barbs. Those were some legit cherry barbs. So those are the males and that's the female back there. The key is to only help the rhizomes with glue. So especially rhizomes, the Java ferns, the Anubius, I think that's almost the silliest one to be gluing onto anything. Because those things naturally have like something to grip around. Like you can take all that root base and just like tie it on there or wedge it into a crack somewhere. Or you can literally tie those roots into a knot and it'll grow around the thing. That's just my opinion. Let's see. And once again, sorry if I'm missing those questions of yours. Aaron Webbs, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. It says, hey, can I keep rasboras with a pair of Amphisemian Austral Achilles? Depends on the size of the tank. Like that would have to be like a 40-gallon, and you might want to get a third type in there to help take the attention off the rasbora. And it also depends on the type of rasbora. So say a chili rasbora would be a snack, but like a brilliant rasbora, those would go all right because they're quick enough to get away from an Amphisemian Australs. Those Amphisemian Austral Achilles, those can be kind of territorial and tend to want to just eat things and pick battles. But the thing is, there are a lot of bark and not always much bite. So as long as they can't fit in their mouth, you should be all right. And plenty of hiding space helps too. But those Achilles would actually help whatever rasbora you have stay in a school, which could make it look really cool. If you can balance that right. And Dana Quinn Aquatics, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, brother. Appreciate you. Oh, that didn't look good. But hope you're doing great. Says, what up, bro? Made it on time. Work is crazy. Well, at least they're keeping you busy. But I'm glad you're able to make it. Glad to hear you're staying busy. And thank you so much for the super chat and the support, brother. Thank you. I'm trying to find some good shots here. I feel like we've been over there for way too long. I really love this tank, though. You know, I need to do something with it, though. I gotta get rid of this, what is that, jungle valve? That stuff's huge, though. It's so hard to ship. Things are ginormous. Let me move over here. Oh, wow. 54 minutes already? Jeez, that went quick. Has anyone bred Mabu puffers? Zach, crazy aquarium guy, I think, something like that. I've seen him on YouTube that has done it. I think, or no, I think those were the Fahakas. Or is that the same thing? I don't know, I'm not that puffer illiterate. How are your plants from Hans doing? I've only got a few of them left. Are you planning on getting another arowana? I wish I could, but I really don't have the space for another arowana. Like, I absolutely love those fish, but you've got to have the proper space for them. Maybe whenever I get what I plan on getting here in the future, but at the same time, it'd be hard to do that because I'm gonna want to throw a bunch of little fish in there because that's what I like. I like these little guys. Even though these guys still have some decent size to them. Yeah, I've literally just got 250 hours watch time in the last hours. Hats off, bro. Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy when they add up like the days and stuff, how much time really goes into these. But you know, it's a collective. There's a lot of people in the world. Dead Fred 821 says, if I want to raise live bears as feeders since they don't have thiamine, that is something. Says, what should I feed them to ensure the best nutrition for what I feed them to? So live's always best, if possible. It's not always practical. So I guess a lot of it would be looking into the ingredients and seeing what's all in them. Papa Rhino Aquatics, he's got these black worm pellets I like. Tend to be just a lot of natural organic products. I know Sarah Foods has a lot of organic type of ingredients in their products as well. Who else? Fluval Bites. I'm not sure what all's in the ingredients on that, but I know that it's made out of insects and whatnot. So I would think towards anything that has more of a natural composite of ingredients is what I would go for. Show us some blue dreams. I love your blue dreams. We can try and do that since it's almost towards the end here. It's just the only problem with going towards that area and why I do all my live streams in here is the internet. Mr. X 2010 says, Lucas, I'm mop spawning luminous rainbows. Then to my Neo tank. How long till I move them? Also, my Amanos love the mop. Are they eating the eggs? Thanks, man. The Amanos probably are eating the eggs. Those Amanos will eat anything you give them the opportunity to eat. And as far as like putting them in your Neo tank, that's what I do with them. A great way to raise up your fry. I don't move them until they're able to start snacking on baby shrimp fry. So, I mean, they're going to be like almost juvenile by the time they get to that point. Especially the pseudomugils, since they already stay pretty small, which equals a smallmouth. Scrolling. If you was to do a full fish room tour of every tank in your house, bro, how many hours do you think it would take? It at least takes 2 hours, at the least, and that's like trying to run and gun through it. Last time, actually I did do it recently. I can't remember when. I think it was like last fall or something, I thought. I broke it into like a 7-episode series. So there was a fish room tour done. It was just all broken into 7 videos because of that whole factor of it taking too long. Because people would have saw a 4-hour fish room tour video or something, but like, nope, ain't got time for that. Who's gonna see a 4-hour video and just be like, yeah, I don't know. Some of us really like fish, so I guess, I don't know. I couldn't see the average watch view duration percentage being very high from that. And unfortunately, we have to think about that as YouTubers. You can't please everybody with everything just because of the algorithms that you have to play and stay in tolerance with. What fish do you think I should put in 2 20-gallon ponds to breed for profit? That's a very open-ended question. Like, There's so many different types of rainbow fish you can breed. That would be awesome. Angelfish. Really, I would say just go with what you would enjoy breeding for profit. There's always an avenue for a fish besides convicts. Don't go out there breeding convicts or anything like that, because if you go to like auctions and stuff like that, fish auctions, they're literally just trying to give them away. They'll put dollar bills in the bags with the fish just so people bid for the dollar bills. But besides that, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot you could breed. There's guppies, there's endlers, there's rainbows, there's tetras, there's cory cats, there's angelfish. I would say if you're really going for profit, if that was your desire, maybe field the market first to see where the demand would be. And if you have a LFS, maybe go to them and be like, all right, I'm planning on breeding out some fish. Do you guys have any requests? And they would be able to point you in the right direction because they're going to know what sells. What would you get as a tank mate for rice fish? I mean, as you see, I've got up here, I've got some tetras in with them. I've got little rainbow fish, the pseudomugul types. I've got the cherry barbs. I've got the melanitanian types of rainbow fish. Really with the rice fish, they're really peaceful as long as they're set with other peaceful fish. They'll be all right. As long as they don't have any aggressors. Now, I don't know if I would put them in this tank with these guys because these guys can unhinge their mouths. Like if you first look at them, hold on, let me try to get a good shot. When you first look at them, like the barbs, not so much. They love like their greens. But these hill trouts, they can like unhinge their mouth. So beware of some fishes. They can just unhinge their mouth like that. Chevy fish. Yep, they do that in my club. Attach $1 to the convict fish bag. Yeah, it's funny. Poor convicts. Jessica Spade says, could my mono shrimp be eating my neo shrimp babies? Should I separate them? Yes and yes. Most def. That could be your problem. Monos are crazy. They love to eat. Like, they just have an insatiable appetite. Father Fish says, shops always buy nice guppies. It's true. Guppies probably are the easiest to propagate for profit. And I think it is the most sold fish, actually. At least that's what Corey has told me from Aquarium Co-op. Blackworm pellets, bug bite, sunlight. I need to have a complete circle of life. LOL. Yeah, I mean, Dead Fred, if you complete it even more, that's even better for sure. Oh, I was supposed to go look at those blue dreams, wasn't I? Do you have any Anubius for sale in the future? No, so I don't at this moment, but I am planning on making some kind of gardening system for Anubiuses and Buses here in the future. Candy Overhauls, thank you so much for posting up that Fishroom tour link. Psychedelic Hippocampus, love that name, says, I ordered the pennywort from you. Is that a floating plant or do you plant underwater? So, I like to float it myself. You can plant it underneath water. And boom, this is what it looks like when it's just floating on top of water, sitting on top of water. It can even like stretch out everywhere. And then it can even hang out, which is really cool. I love that. Actually, I took one of these strands and I lifted it up to this next tank, so I'm hoping it'll just hop over there. It's actually hopped in the back of this tank over there, which is really cool. But if you do grow it underwater, which I have it growing underwater here, it actually stays smaller. And all I did was just like pluck some rocks on top of it and battling some diatoms in there because I changed up the system. But yeah, you can grow it both ways. I think it grows best on top of the water though. And if it was softer water, I think this water may be too hard for its preference growing underwater. Oh yeah, these albino galaxy guppies, yeah. The videos never do them justice. It's like insane. They're like a futuristic fish. Just with like the types of colors that they have. Like everything's like neon and changes. I love those things. A lot of people don't order them though. It's really surprising. Like I remember when I first got these, I was like, man, everybody's gonna want these. But I don't know. I don't know if I just haven't captured them properly or what. But they're beautiful. They're very beautiful. And if you guys want some, lbaquatics.com. I'm not going to stop you. I'd appreciate it. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get this backyard done. Look at that tank, though. I could live in there. If I was a fish, I'd be like, yes, please. How is Wesley's dragon lair coming along? Hope I didn't miss an update. No, I haven't updated it yet. Man, I've been wanting to update you guys on so many things, but I just don't have time to edit videos. It's been so hard. Like, I don't have time to do a whole lot anymore. Like, I've been racing the clock all day just to get in a shower. And still haven't even made it there. Because it's either yard's got to be mowed or I'm getting new, like, pond liners come in. I got to get those out of my driveway. There's always something pushing, or like I go to build this desk over here and then like, of course, when you get into it, it's always like one problem after another. So it's just keep solving problems as you go. Anyways, I'll get to updating you guys more on editing videos. I was thinking about checking out my Nextdoor neighbor app and asking anybody if they're local that wanted to edit for me. I don't know. It'd be kind of weird having people edit for me because it's not really my work. But at the same time, I could get a lot more content out to you guys if that was the case. You need to plan better, my brother. My life is nothing but priority management. I am always sort of planning. It's hard to plan a whole lot when you have to place so many variables. So you got to stay flexible and adaptable. But for the most part, man, I can plan like that if I got to. Call Jimmy. I couldn't afford Jimmy. I wish. And yes, Whiskey does do a great job. Matter of fact, I was going to try to hire him before Aquarium Co-op did, but Aquarium Co-op could offer him a lot more than I could ever. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I was going to go check out the Blue Dreams. All right, before we hop off here, you guys already got me up over 68 minutes. See, and then you get, like, all the recycling from the boxes, too. I got to haul my saws around to them building shelves for all the organizing. But I got my foyer back, which is nice. Finally got a rack for my shoes, so I'm not kicking them around everywhere. Little things in life, recycling more. Little things in life, just being able to put your shoes up. Jeez. I love it. And that is why we do not go back there. Because my internet does not want to go back there. Jeez. But yeah, there's Blue Dreams back there. Sorry you guys couldn't see them. Maybe one day I get an update on them. I always want to take a picture of it. I've done it plenty of times too on like Instagram and Facebook. I know more back in the day. But when I get them in their containers for shipping, like those are like the best pictures because they just pop on that like clear containers and stuff. Oh man, sounds like you need a Wi-Fi repeater down there. I do have one, actually. And we do have like the best internet. It's supposed to be a gig. And it just does not always work right for us. Oh, and my stuff, it acts weird all the time. Like, I think, yeah. Like, for some reason, like, my computer now is always trying to pop up in my email, but it, like, only, like, blips it open, like, every, like, 10 minutes. I don't know, I got some weird stuff going on with my technology. Any tips on breeding rainbow shiners? Pebbles, rock pebbles. So you're gonna want substrate media kind of like this. Where's more just rock pebbles. This one's like really old, kind of substrate. Cleaner one, you're gonna have more gaps and stuff, so they'll scatter their eggs all through those. And the best thing to do is musical fish. So have them in there for maybe a month or two, move them over into a similar one, and then just keep bouncing them back and forth between the two. Or you can use bigger rocks like this. Works the same way. Hi guys. Fish everywhere. Zoom. I think I'm gonna turn this whole rack into a CPD making factory though, which would be pretty cool, at least this level. How cool would that be? Because I know a lot of you guys want those CPDs. I've bred a lot of them out and I just can never keep up with you guys. Alright, so I gotta hop off here. I've got to feed all these fish. I appreciate you all for coming out. And sorry if I did not get to your question. I'm trying my best here. And there's only so much time in a day. But I appreciate you all. Thank you all. Especially for smashing that like button before you go. And until next time, everybody, peace. Have a great one. Enjoy the weekend.